Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Estonian Football Podcast, the weekly kick around, episode 2. Uh, Nõmme United in seven heaven, as they call it. Martin, welcome back. How you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm amazing, like usual. Yeah, you said it well. I mean, what a week it has been, and yeah, like there's so many results that have been surprising. There's definitely points for us to talk about.
I'll start off with Nõmme United Vapris. To give a brief bit of context here in England, sometimes on a Saturday I'll go do a small football bet. I did it with my manager. We both went in and he said, I'm going to trust you on this one. What do you want to do? And I said, all of our money has to go on Vapris. There is no chance they lose this game. Hour and a half later, he asked me what the score was. I say, well, 7-1, Nõmme United. So in Estonia, how shocking would you say the result was, Martin, compared to us here in England, as we saw that as, Vapris couldn't have lost that game, or at least to the scoreline that they did?
But you still have your house. You didn't bet your house away, like you have roof over your head, and it's fine.
For now, yeah, for now.
But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The result was, I mean, it was such a surprise. I wouldn't say that the United's win like came as like a massive surprise because I think they're still a very dangerous team. Obviously, like first game was against Flora, so obviously we didn't expect them to do something crazy. They did put up a good effort against the Flora in the cup, so we know that they have quality. But listen, 7-1 is, I mean, it's such a disaster. But yeah, I think Kevin Alo said it well, like after the game, that just they played individually. They didn't play as a team. And if you look at the game, then it's so true. Like I think Vapros, they, first of all, I think they lacked the midfield, and I think second is that they dropped so deep from the get go. Like they didn't even want to put any pressure up front, and they just let Nõmme United come. And I think Nõmme United's biggest strength is their attack. Is Beglarashvili with all the passes he can find. And I'm still surprised that the same thing was in Esiliiga as well when I was playing for Elva. That I was surprised that the teams that played against them United they didn't man mark Beglarashvili because for me he's like if you expect them United to score somehow, Beglarashvili will be probably involved some way. So like obviously like it's easy to now say put man to man and maybe that wouldn't even work also but yeah, the way Peppers approached I think was such a disaster.
Yeah, I just want to say I thought Nõmme United were fantastic. From watching it, I was at work watching it. I didn't even bother talking to people. I just stayed and watched the game. I just thought how they played. Let's say there was no midfield from Vapris at all. It was non-existent. I thought the even like the tracking runs, I just thought it was so lazy. It was just like they were walking. There was no urgency, let's say. But take nothing away from Nõmme United. I just thought whenever they went on an attack, it looked like they were going to score. And I thought Yarvale down the left, I thought every time he got the ball, it seemed like something was going to happen. I thought it was brilliant. I'm really happy for him kicking off their season with a win. I think it took them a while last time they were in Premier League. Hopefully they can build it. They got Temeka next week or this week, who haven't been great. So hopefully, well, I say hopefully, I don't want to jinx things, you know what I mean? But it's a way to kick on. They've got confidence now. Owanapu's scoring as well. He's got his first 2 goals of the season. Uh, I think it's fantastic. But Nom, they dominated literally everything: passes, possession, shots, everything, and it was a big surprise. But yeah, Vapris were poor.
I mean the only thing that I can maybe somehow think that Nõmme United came with back-to-back games against Flora. So I maybe like the intensity in those games were high. Like they had to be like so aware because Flora's press is like more intense. So I think if you come from those two games, then obviously you are more alert in situations. Vaprus, on the other hand, like came against Velko, which was much. It wasn't an easy game. I think the people who watched the game was still, especially the second half, but Vaprus was in control, and I think they still dominated. It was still quite easy for them. You could see. So maybe if you try to find a way, maybe if Vaprus were a little bit sleeping, maybe you can say that. Just the game before was much easier for them, where they didn't have to concentrate that much. But overall, I think that's like probably like disaster of the season. I don't think any like a bigger score will come until like this season.
Could you say it raises a question about consistency? Like, even though we're only 2 games in, Vapris beat Pied, and then go get thumped by Nõmme United. Yeah, can we say there's consistency issues already, or would we just say that it was just an off day?
I think I was speaking to my friend about Vaprus recently, and there's two ways you can think about it. One is that okay, if you look on paper, they have quite a decent side, and they beat Biden in first game, so like it seems like they why not fight for the European places again. But on the other hand, what's more like my vision is that they still have a lot of problems, especially in defense. Uh, Lepik is good, but he's also injury prone. Uh, Paju is out. Paju is out. Okay, Magnus Ilata is slowly coming back. Uh, I just think that if you look at the first game, they were actually really struggling against Paide. I mean, first half was disaster. Second half was a disaster up until they would have been 3 goals down. So I think Paide was still way above Pärnu, and then Pärnu came back. So maybe we got like a false imagination that Vaprus is like a strong horse. I think for me they're not as good as maybe people think, um, because they still have problems inside the team, inside the club. Um, Obviously, the 7-1 doesn't represent the team's quality, but I think they are weaker than people think. Maybe just the first game was a little bit illusion because they came back from 0 to down, but Paide was dominating the game.
One thing that I've noticed you mentioned, they've got a couple of young lads playing as well. They've got Alas playing centre back, Colvert playing midfield as well, who didn't feature much last year as well. So they're kind of been thrown into it, so to speak. They're young boys. I kind of felt they looked off the pace. So it's a learning curve. They've got Narva this week, Vapris, away in Narva, which will still be in the dome, I imagine. Is it still in the dome?
I think first few games for Narva should be in the dome.
Yeah. Do you expect them to bounce back against Narva?
Well, you said okay, young players were playing. I think Kulvart is playing because Pajo is injured, and as well Maites Villota is out. So I don't think he will be playing. But I don't want to criticize them too much because I think Kulvart I think he played quite well like against Paide, like the first second half, and they just need a little bit more time to just also to experience. I think before the season, like Pärnu put on Instagram as well, like the players answered some questions, and one of the questions was that who will be the biggest improver or will like get better the most, and I think majority of players will pick the Kulvart. Like he will maybe like the sky will step up. So he's still has a good potential. But I mean Narva as well. Like Narva has like the back against their wall. Like I mean they have 2 losses. And I don't know yet if it's in the dome, but it doesn't matter. It's still Narva's home game, so uh, it's if Narva like they have to win. Like I mean they will go all out. So I think it will be quite even. It is difficult to predict anything. I mean at this right now in this part of the season.
Let's talk about Narva. They've just played Paide, 1-0 win for Paide.
Loss.
Sorry, Yeah, Paide won
Yeah,
1-0.
I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
they won 1-0. Sorry.
No. Took to the 96th minute for Paide to break them down, which ended up being some 35-yard free kick of all goals. What a goal! You were saying earlier, weren't you? It might be one of the best free kicks you've ever seen.
Yeah, after Dimitri Payet's for West Ham.
It's quite similar.
Almost, yeah.
Narva just looked like they didn't get going. It felt like they were passed off the field. There was no attacking threat. What did you make of it, Martin?
Well, I can't say much because I wasn't able to see the game. I just saw the highlights, so I'm not in position to talk a bit more detail. What I can say is that like knowing Vasilev and you know what even he demands from the players. So obviously there were like Gerd Kamp said, I think as well, like in a podcast, that after the first game maybe there were a little bit words said in the dressing room, maybe like obviously the directors were not happy, so obviously they needed to bounce back. And Vasilev as a coach, like he demands a lot, and I think he knows the pressure because obviously he has, but it's not new to him as well because I think for Levadia as well, like he knows what you know job he has, what people demand from him. So obviously, like the goal was just to win the game. But as I said, I don't want to talk too much because I wasn't able to see the game.
I think they dominated the game. So yeah, Narva didn't really offer much. But the issue with Paide was, I guess, for me, it's something that was very similar to last season as well, is turning those chances into goals. And I don't want to say they were lucky, but you know, it took an absolute wonder goal for them to win 1-0. So for me, the concerns there, even though they did dominate the game, the concern was there that there wasn't that they couldn't convert those chances. It could have easily finished 0-0, like easily.
Yeah, I'm finding with Paide, like when we first started watching Estonian football, Paide were one of those teams that would score 3, 4, 5 goals all the time. And I feel recently it's dropped. You know, you don't expect them to put a load of goals past teams. You know, like how Arsenal play currently, where they just win 1-0. And, you know, it gets frustrating because they keep winning, but like they're not winning well. And it's like, come on. And I feel like that's the same with Paide. Maybe that's what they need to do, you know, you've got them to win the title, Martin. Maybe that's what they need to do.
But I think I would still like I want to see more from them. I don't know. I don't see like a title winning team, which I thought everybody will see when they look at. But I think as well, like Levadia doesn't look okay. They're still like have now like a winning streak, but Levadia they don't seem that like superior compared to others. Flora and Kalju have their own problems as well, even though Kalju has now 2 wins in a row. But so the thing that Paide is, I think, should be grateful that no other team is like in a top position to go and win the league. So I think they're quite equal teams.
So with Narva next week, do they look at that game? Obviously, every game is a must win. Do they look at that game at Vapris 3 games in and say, we have to win this game? Or, you know, is it not to worry just yet?
Well, I've been in Narva's dressing room and Burdakov, you know, as a president, he doesn't like to lose, and he demands a lot from the players. And I think even the cup game against Viimsi, like yes, they won with like what quite lucky. It ended in normal time. But even like you could see after the game when the camera pointed at president. He was like walking off, but he wasn't really smiling. Like he was quite disappointed, and he, for sure, 100%, he has been in the dressing room talking to the players. He's not a president who shouts a lot, but he's someone that demands a lot and just says, everyone sits quietly and he just says his thoughts. No, luckily for me, like my Russian wasn't that good, so if he was criticizing like anybody, I wasn't really aware of it, so I was like a little bit chilling. But nah, like joking aside, like they have pressure now, and mm, yeah, if I just look at the lineups as well, like they don't use like experienced players that much. Like Iri, for some reason, is on the bench even in the cup game. Like even against Viimsi, he wasn't playing for some reason. Like okay, Poljakov was, but still they don't. They Kozohovsky, maybe he has like different ideas, but they need to win against Vaprus, for the dressing room and to win back the fans.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Martin, last week you had your one to watch to be Temeka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They they lost 3-2 to Curacao. Will they be panicking already? Obviously, those games, it was a very even game. It could have gone either way. It was actually quite a good game to watch. It was very end to end. Both teams had chances. I feel like Kura did have, I don't like, did you say the word momentum, let's say. Will Temeka be panicking?
Who was it? Was it you, Nathan, or Reece, who said like Kuressaare won't win in first 7 games?
Oh shit! Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, well that's
Yeah, I
that
mean
done.
now they
Yeah,
won. No, but
I've got
listen,
it there. First 10
it's
games.
it's yeah, like okay. First of all, I don't want to like find some kind of reasons, but the pitch is difficult. I mean, it's quite impossible to play attractive football. But what I want to say is that for Tammeka's downfall, they went ahead and they played Kuressaare's way, which I think is the worst thing you want to do in that pitch. Is like Kure will play the long balls, will play the throw-ins, and if you're the opponent, you don't want to go with the flow. Like you have to try you play your own game. Like and with Tamekas, you could see so often that if they were having counter attacks and like Koskor was going up front against like two defenders, then they were still like trying to just with long balls trying to fight them out, like not maybe to switch the sides to play maybe a little bit more calmly. They were like they wanted to play the same way Kuressaare does, and I get why because it's the pitch and all the wind and everything. But if you try and you make like 100% focus and try to play your own football, I think that's the way to beat Kuressaare. But yeah, Kuressaare likes to fight, and they brought the game, in the way that they want to play, and that brought them the victory.
So as Nate said, I feel like the game could have gone either way. I feel like all of the goals were quite scrappy, like ricocheting off a defender or whatever, and then finding a way into the goal. Psychologically, for Curacao, a lot of people have tipped them to go down, coming from 2-1 down to win 3-2. Psychologically, how will that make them feel?
I think it's a boost, and I think if you look at the next fixtures, and they have a really difficult. They have Kalju away, Paide at home, and then Flora away. So we're like, they needed like they need. And of course, they played already Levadia. So like this Tammeka game, if you just look at the fixtures, like the first five at the start of the season, four is against the top four, and then was Tammeka. So okay, if you would be like a Tammeka's player, you'll think, okay, Kuressaare is like game we have to win out of those five at least to stay. So they did the minimum. now it's their job to get something out of the next the big games. So Kuressaare definitely has the most difficult fixtures. So I'm not surprised you said that they will win the first game after round 7 or something.
Yeah, I agree. Temeka have Nõmme United. I suppose before last week, we probably would have said that that's a game that Temeka. Well, I think you did say it last week on the podcast. Kuressaare, Nõmme United is a chance for them to get 6 points. I feel like that's going to be a very interesting game. It would be. I think we'll see a lot of goals in that game. I think it'll be very end to end again. It could be our game of the week next week, I feel. But who knows?
Yeah, I think Tammeka will win. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say too early, but I mean, Nõmme United, obviously, I see them like being a little bit more rational because they have quite an experienced players as well. Like, also they have a lot of young players, but they have experience and they have like if they're smart, they are looking at Vaprus's game and the dangers and where because like let's be honest, Nõmme United's the goals were quite similar. So I still wanna think that Tammeka will have a slight edge, but yeah, I mean that's a fixture for both clubs. Like I think that's an amazing fixture for both clubs. Like they both can get on a good run to get like 6 points not in a row Tammeka lost, but just be in a good position in the next round.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Levadia. Harju, 3-1 win for Levadia away to Harju. Again, slightly, it's not the Levadia we're used to seeing. I felt like it took them a long time to break them down, even though Harju were down to 10 men since like the 35th minute or something like that. Still got the 3 points. I think it's just them in Kalju now, isn't it? That 2 out of 2. What was your take on their performance, Martin?
First of all, why did the Harju's first goal? Why wasn't it ruled out? Because for me, it's a clear foul. Like Järve just goes in the first post, just tears Levadia player down. It's not even like it just completely took him, just rolled it down, and then they scored. I was like, if I was looking back at it as well, I'm like, how is it allowed? So I'm so baffled. But and then I think Livak as well. I think it was one of the goals of the season, maybe like what a cross. But yeah, I mean,
did he mean it?
Of course not. I mean, I've also done that. Like I think it was in youth games, but obviously we all say that of course we meant it, but then we go home and we say like, nah, it was a fluke. But well, I like Levadia. I think they're doing what champions do, which is like not have like an super nice game, but they're grinding it out and they're still like winning games. And I want to say Skortsov. I think is a very fascinating player to watch. He's quite similar to Alama from Flora. I think they're both very exciting players to watch. So again, I'm very happy to see like a young player shine for top teams.
Yeah, we spoke about Skvortsov earlier this evening, saying that he seems to have a big impact on the team. He's not scared to attack, which is great with young players because they've got nothing to lose. They attack. Before the red card, though, I feel like Harju were in the game a bit, and without the red card, I want to say that the game I feel would have been a bit more competitive than what it turned out to be for Levadia.
I agree. And talking about the goal that got ruled out, I say it was a great finish. It was really well taken. But obviously, if he didn't haul down the defender, it wouldn't have got to him, would it? So, but it was a great finish, really good. And Skvortsov as well. It's like he's plays with no fear. The way he just runs at people and, what is he, 16, 17?
He's like 18 now.
Oh, was he 18? No, shit. But like, to take on the goal he scored, to take that, it's yeah, he's a top player. Hopefully he can keep it up. I hope he can. It's a really exciting thing.
Yeah. I don't really have much more to say on the game because I watched it. It wasn't. I feel like Levadia was still. They dominated the game. Harju were down to 10 men, but I do feel like there's something missing. There's not the energy of what we're used to seeing. It still felt a bit flat. Uh, Livak's goal, it was a fluke. Tambadou's goal, the first goal, it was kind of like a messy finish. Skvortsov's goal, okay, was beautiful goal. Take away that, they couldn't convert their chances again and all of that stuff. So for me, I don't know what it is, but it feels like there's something missing with Levadia at the moment. But then they're 2 games, 2 wins. So,
Yeah. No, I agree. I suppose the big game of the weekend was Flora Kalju. I personally didn't watch the game. I chose to watch the Harju Levadia game instead. So I don't have a full account of the game. I did watch the highlights. Obviously, we had that comical own goal. Have you ever done that, Martin?
No. Come on. It's, I mean, but that's what happens, with defenders. I think that's just obviously if you look at the replay as well, he didn't lift his head, so he he had actually no idea where the goalkeeper was. But yeah, that's the thing where you should speak the goalkeeper coach, and we should have figured it out where the goalkeepers would position themselves. I think the same thing was with the Estonian national team as well. I think was it Kuusk who tried to pass it back to Hein, but Hein was like next to the goal and stuff. So it's I know especially in I think in England or Spain they teach to goalkeeper to be not in the goal but next to the goal, because if the touch or something doesn't, like, maybe if it goes under the feet, so it won't be a goal, it will be like a corner. But yeah, overall it was just a disaster on goal.
Henry Perk, the Kalju goalkeeper, criticised Sportland Arena, the pitch. Obviously, this time of year, almost every single game is played at the Sportland Arena, including games in the S Liiga. Kalev play there, other teams as well. How, for someone who's played professional football, how, with so many games played on that pitch, how hard is it to play decent football?
It's not that hard to play decent football in Sportland Arena. Like, it's obviously the pitch is not the best, let's be honest, but it's still compared to Kuressaare's, turf, or like it's still much better. Like it's yeah, you can't say anything bad about the pitch. I think the worst time to play in that pitch is like if it's like in the summer it's 25 degrees or plus, then it's difficult. Right now it's not, it shouldn't be a big problem. So I'm a little bit surprised he mentioned it.
Do you think it's just another way to, I don't know how to word it, maybe push the EJL to start putting some money into infrastructure? I know it'll probably fall on deaf ears, I know, but do you think it's just to get the voice? Yeah.
I mean, nothing will change. I think why nothing will change is it's because we all know the quality is not good in our pitches. So it's not, it's like if somebody comes out in an interview and says it, it's not a surprise to me. It's not a surprise to you. It's not a surprise for the fans who read it. Like, it's just, it's old news. We are used to it. So it's not like he makes us aware that it's now bad, we should change it. Like, we know it's like we should change them more often, but we just as our like clubs, or we don't have that much money. The federation doesn't invest that much. Obviously, we should. I don't know what's the general rule. I think we should change turfs after every I don't know, 4 years or something. I don't know the exact year, because there's like not only the games, there are children training at it, there are lower leagues for playing at it. Like it is getting week and week out. It's getting so like so much load on it, but yeah, nothing will change. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm surprised it was Perk that mentioned it because he didn't really have much to do in the game. So, like, if anyone should have been complaining, I would have felt Cavilla would have like brought it up, but he was the one who like had more to do. So it was like surprising of whose mouth it came out of more than anything to me.
Yeah, Flora didn't even have a shot on target, did they?
Don't think so. No.
No. So he
There were
literally had nothing to do.
there were like scrappy moments, like after corner kicks or something. Like, and Alama was quite dangerous on the left side, but still wasn't there. The final bosses wasn't like quite up for. I think Flora, for me, Flora is they are not like a well balanced team, in my opinion. I think the whole strength lies on the attack, because you can see like they're little bit aimlessly pulling shooting the ball forwards, and then because Sapin and Allik, when they were such an experienced attack, so they knew where the second balls will come. They knew how to maybe jump for the like in the body, and maybe to a little bit like put the defenders off and win the balls and stuff. So they were quite reliant on it. But as a team, I see the defense looks so weak, in my opinion. Like. Uh, it's a little bit shaky, but so Kallio for me is a little bit more well balanced, a little bit more fluid. Um, so yeah, like this was like I think for me it was like a good way to see that okay, good time to see that Kallio is a little bit step ahead for me. But again, Flora have quality, like have experience in winning titles, in winning important games. Okay, they lost that one, but they have this thing that, for example, what Paide doesn't have. Maybe they're a little bit mentally struggling because they don't feel like they don't believe in themselves to win the titles. But Flora, they always believe in themselves. Like, so this might still favor them in the end.
So I agree with what you say about the attack being experienced. There was a bit where I saw during the game, Sapinen, you could tell that he was frustrated with certain things that's happening on the field. And, he's like running over to the young players and telling them, they should be doing this, this, this. Whereas if you looked at the Cal U side, they were just knew what they were doing. They knew what the game plan was. And, it was I feel like it was a scrappy game. It was quite flat as well. It could have gone either way if Flora took the chances. But yeah, I agree with like Cal U being that at the moment they have that more team cohesion. It's that organization for me that works.
Yeah, fair enough. Martin, who is your player of match week 2?
I was thinking about Beglarashvili. Like, it was quite a long time. I was like, okay, I'll probably pick him. But then in the last minute, I changed my mind, because I was thinking, okay, let's because Nõmme United, like, okay, let's be honest, he was the architect. He was like pulling the strings, but Nõmme United was so dominant. So I think even if you take, like, because Vaprus dropped in so deep, so I think even if you take Beglarashvili out, they will still dominate the game. Maybe not would have scored 7 goals, but they were still in control of the game. So, but for me, like, I have to pick the Paide's the new signing. Like, what a free kick! So I think it's Daniel, the name. Like, came on for his debut, and what a goal! Like, I think it doesn't maybe get enough, because our media is like in Estonia, it's non-existent. We don't really talk about anything, but this is actually a world-class goal. I think people don't understand how much like power needs to be put in the shot, that it's like curled perfectly in the top corner, and it wasn't even taking like such a long run up, so it was quite a short. So like this is like It has to be him in my eyes. It has to be him.
I've watched it so many times. The free kick. I've got it. I think I've scheduled it to go on our TikTok tomorrow morning. And as I was like adjusting it to try and fit it in the angle, the amount of times I just played it back was like, yeah, like you've got to be good to do that. Like you that's no fluke or anything. Like, that's pure talent. That was, one of second best free kick I've ever seen. Easy.
Yeah. Good goal. What about you, if you're player of the week?
Beglashvili. 1 goal, 3 assists. 7-1 win. Easy.
It's all it needs. It don't even need an explanation, does it? I've actually gone Sportsov from Levadia. I think goal and assist, and the way he's playing at the moment, even last week, he was fantastic as well. So I think he's a player high in confidence. Real test next week, or this week. I keep saying next week, it's this week. They got Paida, so that would be a real interesting test for him. But he gets my player of the week. He's been fantastic so far. I need to try wriggle my fantasy team around to squeeze him in, which has been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, mine as well. Like I'm close to using my transfer chip, just changing everything.
We spoke about that today. Yeah.
Sent the text earlier. I will be using my transfer chip.
I'm so far behind already, and it's the second round. Like,
yeah, I think I'm bottom of that one.
What a disaster. Martin, this week, what are you looking forward to?
Okay, we have quite a good matchups, but it might be a boring answer, but I will pick Levadia versus Paide because this is, I think, the first big test for Levadia. Like if we can actually see, like, I think that their real quality, where like they need to be at the top of the game, because I think the first few games, yeah, even though the opponents they did put on like a fight, or maybe Kuressaare was a little bit weaker, but now it's Levadia's real test, and I want to see what they're capable of. And for Paide, I mean, it's they I think the coach and the president, everybody want to see like convincing game, and like not this thing of what happened against Pärnu, and not this. I don't want to call it lucky, but against Narva, because it was like quality shot, but it's still like just on the like very close win against Narva. So I think it'll be an important game for both teams.
Yeah. What about you? What are you looking forward to?
I'll say Narva Vapris, Pärnu. Narva winless. Need to get some points on the board. Pärnu just taking an absolute hiding. Can they bounce back? Are Narva rubbing their hands together? We've got 3 points. Who knows? It's going to be an interesting one. Vapra's going to change the team around a little bit. Are Narva going to put some more experience in? It's a game that I think both teams are going to be rubbing their hands at, to get back to bounce back. So I think it's going to be a good one in the hall with Narva as well. The roof might come in to an advantage to someone. We'll see, but we'll going for that one.
Yeah, I've actually gone for a player. I'm going for Ego Oalapu. He's got his first 2 goals of the season. I feel like he may get his first start against Temeka. And it'd be interesting to see what he can do from the start. He's a goal machine. He's got to be hitting 100 goals now, hasn't he, for Nõmme United at such a young age. I know most of them are wrestling, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he does with a start, with Beglashvili bringing some balls into him. Who knows?
I think let's hope he can stay fit, and I think it would be nice that like we have Onapo We have Alama, we have Levidas Skorcheva as well. Like I think there's so many like exciting players to watch. So let's just hope everyone will stay fit. Like Lepik as well from Vaprus. We want to see everybody fit, everybody fighting. So that's at least my aim.
Yeah. I agree.
Cool. Anything anyone else wants to add? Apart from Televic winning again, 5-0 in Vamos.
Vamos. Let's go to Levick. Send us a shirt. Woohoo.
I was just checking the Narva's game. I mean, it does say they will play in Fama, but
Okay.
I don't know. Like, if it's true, then they will play in like outdoors. But yeah, I don't know. It's you can never trust, our football. It's unpredictable.
We'll see.
Hopefully, I hope it is at Fama. I really hope it is at
Of
Hall.
course.
We don't want to see league games in the Hall. Come on.
And to be fair, like maybe Narva as well, they haven't had any fans inside the hall to support them. So now outside they have fans. Ilya, hopefully. We have to get Ilya on the pod as well for the fans as well. We can a little bit inside info from Narva. And it will help to help the team a lot.
Yeah, I bet I can guess what he'll say. But I won't say it on here.
I think he's very optimistic.
Yeah, what a guy. Right. I think that's it then. Episode 2 done. Vamos,
Yes,
are we happy?
Flying by. Yeah.
Yeah. Week 3 next week. Let's go. Hopefully another interesting week. It's been great so far. I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks for listening. See you next week.
Yeah. Vamos.